There comes a time in every man's life when he lays eyes on someone and just knows. When he discovers that a soulmate exists. When he truly understands the meaning of love. That moment came for Chad 14 years ago when he first met me in Miss Portman's English class. Some of my fondest memories, it's not one singular event. It's a series of events. It's any time I stayed the night at Chad's house. Talk about which girls were cute at school, which were the not so cute ones. And then we talk about the girls, we'd dream up these girls that didn't exist, these fantasy women. And if we'd say if we only had 1 second to meet this woman, we'd marry her.
My name's Evangeline. I am Carrie Nicole's sister. And as we get older, I find us, maybe we're looking a little bit more alike. We've, I think, started to act a little bit more alike. I pick up your mannerisms. I'm only so lucky to pick up the great qualities of you. And I also feel like we get to walk lockstep together in this thing, just figuring out what it means to be married. And I got to meet Chadwick's mom and sister and brother-in-law and nephews yesterday, and the first thing Chadwick said was, "I'm so glad you get to meet my family because you get to see where I'm coming from." And I'm not sure if I told you this, but what I was thinking in my head is, I know where you come from, Chadwick, because you can't be who you are without having the wonderful, loving family and support that you come from.
So, let's see, I don't know. Fast forward 12, 13 years maybe, and I'm sitting in a bar across the table from Chad and Carrie Nicole. It was amazing to watch how they fed off of each other's energy. And I think the most impressive part of Carrie Nicole isn't her warmth or her instant friendliness, her ability to just know you as soon as you meet her. It was the fact that she could do something that not many people could. She, instead of taking a back seat to the Chad show, backup dancer, she was his co-star.
You both are too smart and too charming and too good looking for your own good. And I know that you will not have a complacent marriage.
And I had this aha moment. All the things, all these characteristics and what he said about this girl that he only wished he could meet. The whole time, it was as if he had a crystal ball. He was describing Carrie Nicole to a T. Chad, being a man of his word, met his fantasy girl, his dream woman. And what else did he do other than marry her? To Chad and Carrie Nicole.
And I can only hope and wish more than, I've never wanted anything more than to see you guys have a happy, joyful, and challenging marriage throughout your life. I love you guys so much. Please raise your glass to a joyfully ever after.
I want to talk today a little bit about Orthodox math. Because today, 1 + 1 is equal to 1. In the prayers that we read and in the petitions that we said, there was this repetition of the idea that you have been yoked together in oneness of mind, and that the two individuals have now been mystically connected and that you become one. And earlier you had these crowns on your head, and these crowns are a reminder of what it takes to embrace this idea of oneness. Because sometimes we think that these crowns represent that you are the king and queen of your household. This is sometimes what we say. That's a nice thing to say. The crowns represent martyrdom. The crowns, if you listen to the prayers, there was this understanding of martyrdom and the crown of heaven of being a martyr. What does it take to be a martyr? A willingness to sacrifice everything. In order to truly be one, you are both called to die to yourself in order to live for one another, to live together. This is a very difficult task. But this is the beauty of marriage, is that the both of you have recognized that together in oneness, you can serve God and one another in a way that you couldn't on your own. And this is why the church recognizes the beauty and the necessity of marriage. There's this idea, I think, sometimes that we get married so that we can be happy. Happiness comes in marriage, but we also know that there's sorrow and there's struggle and there's difficult days. Happiness is fleeting. Joy is eternal. I pray that you have joy in your marriage. Not happily ever after, but joy forever. Joyfully ever after. That sounds nice. Because there are going to be hard times. There's going to be sickness. There's going to be times when things didn't work out as you expected, but with God, even in those moments of sorrow, you can feel God's peace and feel that eternal joy. Let the church, let God always be at the center of your marriage. When things are difficult and things are challenging, this is the perfect time to remember that God is right at the center if you allow Him to be. God wants us to feel His peace so that He can allow us to trust in Him. God bless you. I love you both. I'm so grateful to be here with you and your family. And thank God today Richard made it to the top of the hill. And his brother yesterday said we were all cheering him on. What a blessing that he is supported continually by the love of so many people. May you have a joyful marriage all the days of your life.
Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arise.
I can't speak more highly of Carrie Nicole. She is such a beautiful person. Every time I spend time with her is wonderful. I just love you to pieces and I'm so happy for you. And she did find the love of her life. I have 2 jewels for son-in-laws. When you see Chadwick and Rob take care of their father-in-law the way they do, I'm so blessed. It's amazing. They're incredible. I'm also very, very happy now to know that I have a duet of Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck.
Blackbird, fly into the light of a dark black night.
There you go. Hey, Rob, you nailing your head together a little bit. There we go. 1, 3, 1, 2. All right.
Blackbird singing in the dead of night. Take these broken wings and learn to fly all your life. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive. You were only waiting for this moment to arrive.
Karen Nicole writes, Dad, the oldies, that was our music. My fondest childhood memories are coasting down PCH in the white Lincoln Town Car. Pacific Ocean on our right, K-Earth 101 on the radio. Our rides to school, we would get the many life lessons from you. We learned everything, why the sky is blue, how the moon and the tides worked. My favorites were when we got to hear the news stories from your adventures living in Africa and India. I remember one morning you were telling us about how oil was made in the depths of the earth and the bottoms of the ocean. Beach Boys played on the radio. Remember how much we loved the Beach Boys? Remember that rickety old white Fiat Panda we rented one summer on Santorini? How it would stall going up the hill, and one of us would have to sit in the trunk. Best of all, remember how it had no radio, so Evangeline and I would sing Beach Boy songs during our drives. The Beach Boys will forever remind me of us. I dedicate this Beach Boys song, God Only Knows, to us. For our special family dance, we invite up the other man who has been there consistently for me from day one. From birthdays to graduations, who continues to support me to this very day. Sharing this special dedication with Karen Nicole is her godfather, Mr. Anthony Zabukas.
I may not always love you, but long as there are stars above you, you never need to doubt it. I'll make you so sure about it. God only knows what I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me, well, life would still go on, believe me. The world could show nothing to me, so what good would living do me? God only knows what I'd be without you. If you should ever leave me, the life would still go on, believe me. The world could show nothing to me, so what good would living do me?
Please help me extend a special thank you to our godfather, Mr. Anthony Zabukas.
Unforgettable in every way,
and forevermore, that's how you'll stay.
That's how you'll stay.
That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too.
They say the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Congratulations once again, Mrs. Shelley Turner.
I want to welcome you all here tonight. This is a super, super special evening for us. It's been 2 months of feverish planning, and we communicated to our friends and family our sped up timeline and how we understood if people couldn't make it, and explain the circumstance. And the support has been absolutely overwhelming, not just here in Texas with our support system, but all over the country. And it's not just supporting myself, but my family.
I've never had the people that I love the most all in the same room. And some of you I loved very recently, and you've all been very kind to me that have opened your arms and part of my family. My mom and dad have been great to me. I've had a great supportive system. My sister Lindsay, who came in from New York. So good to see you. Corey. All my friends. who have become Karen Nicole's friends as well. The Zabukas is the Pittmans. Once again, I reiterated it at the rehearsal dinner. Your family continues to grow, and my love for it can only be matched by the number of people that I meet. So it's fantastic. I'm like the Grinch at the end of the movie.
If you've been married less than 1 day, please step off the dance floor.
Can't get over you. Still I call it
59 years, 1 day. So I could probably learn a few things from y'all, so I would like each of you to tell us, what is your secret to being married so long?
My secret, just take 1 day at a time.
So what's your secret?
Never go to sleep mad at each other.
What's your secret to being married so long?
Just 2 words. Yes, dear.
And Mr. Howard, what is your secret?
Say love.
Love. And I think this family exemplifies all that.
This is a story that was written by a great mentor of mine. His name was Steve Jobs, and I think you all know he started this great company called Apple. The story is called Here's to the Crazy Ones. And the reason I picked this story is the coming together of Carrie Nicole and Chadwick. I think watching the energy between the two of them in the room together yesterday, which was for the first time for me, first time meeting Chadwick, it was something really special. And I changed a couple of the words in the poem, so you get the idea. But here's to the crazy ones. The Trojans of USC, the Waves of Pepperdine, the Rebels, the Troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, you can disagree with them, glorify or vilify them. About the only thing you can't do is ignore them. Because of people like Carrie Nicole and Chadwick, who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world, are the ones who do.
Of course I do.